Hey everyone, welcome to Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. This podcast is all about farmers markets. Whether you're a farmers market manager or a small farmer, food maker, or artisan selling at farmers markets, you have found just the right podcast.
I'm Kat Fields-White.
And I'm Bridget Myers. We're longtime farmers market managers, educators, and consultants. Get ready to catch up on all things farmers market pros with us. Today, we're doing a quick update on what's coming to Intense, the multinational farmers market conference in March 2025.
Today's episode of Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast, is supported by Yifty, creating and managing custom gift cards for your whole market or your entire community. Yifty's community cards link your farmers market and farmers market vendors to a single gift card to make it easier than ever to ensure that people spend their money at local markets and shops. Set up your custom branded Yifty card in minutes at no cost to the market, vendors, or neighboring shops. For information or to get your market card program started, click the Yifty logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
All right, well, welcome back to Tent Talk. Today, we're catching you up on how planning is going for next spring's Intense, the multinational farmers market conference. We see you, Canada, England, and the Netherlands. March 2025 is just around the corner, and early pre-order tickets are available through the end of this month. So let's chat about what will be happening when we gather here in San Diego.
It's going to be the best conference yet. Do we always say that? There have been some good ones in the last 8 years. I do feel like there were a couple of years when I definitely did not say it's going to be the best one yet because I was totally out of control.
Or we said it and we're like, yeah. It's going to be the best. And we're like, oh boy.
Oh boy.
We're a little,
We've got a lot going on.
Whenever you're starting a new special event, it's like saying your third day of your brand new farmer's market is going to be the best. Probably not.
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? But we've had, I think they've all been good in their own way.
Yes, they've all, honestly, they've all been fun. And just any quirky stuff that's happened has been fun. It's
That's
funny.
right.
It's funny later.
It's like when crazy things are happening, but it gets to be a good family story that you tell year after year.
That's right. And we've bonded with our attendees.
That's right.
With each other. And yeah, the conferences are always so much fun. And yes, but this one feels just different. I think we've kind of jumped, forward with some things. We've gotten a real strong handle on a lot of planning things and just, always bringing good content. But I feel like it's more organized and going to be really great this year.
I've had a little more time to work on things this year.
I think that's the whole
that's
change.
One of the big ones. I've been not so distracted. You've been running the Mercado now for a while. You don't ask much of me, and that helps.
Yeah.
So it's been good, and we have made a leap into a new venue, a new type of venue. Same basic geographic area, but more centrally located in Pacific Beach. And so that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And more professionals, got a little bit bigger team this year. So
sure.
Lots of good things going on.
And it's going to be fun. I am like, it's going to be different. I'm not going to be so familiar. Because even with Marina Village, I was just so intimately familiar with that. So even the funky things, but it was like I knew it was going to happen. So Catamaran's going to be a new spot for us, but I just feel like it's
a hotel.
It's an upgrade. They know what they're doing.
It's a hotel. It's not possible that there won't be any staff on site when we arrive to let us in.
The 24-hour staff is like, let's go anywhere that has that.
That's right. That was kind of one of the reasons for that jump after some difficulties accessing our room on a couple of days
Marina Village
this year. Wild. But I'm excited about the topics and speakers.
Yes.
Been working a lot on that.
Yes.
We have a theme this year. We always have kind of a hidden theme that we don't talk about, but we're sort of talking about it. Our theme this year is Speak Up for Farmers Markets.
Love it.
We're going to have an opening session for everyone. I'm actually going to speak at the conference this year.
I think that people really love it when you do that. All of our comment cards are like, I wish Kat had like a session. Like people like it when you speak, but I think you're kind of too frazzled sometimes and don't get it together, but I'm excited. I believe in you, and I'm excited for you to speak this time.
I'm speaking at the opening of the conference, so it's before I have a chance to get really frazzled.
Okay. I have you on record saying that.
I speak at a lot of other people's conferences.
Exactly. I mean, you speak at other people's conference, just pretend it's somebody else's conference.
That's what I'm going to
do. Walk in and speak and walk out and then come back in and work your own conference.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So we're going to have an opening session by me for everyone that attends that really digs into how to clap back at greenwashers and folks deliberately making things harder for markets.
Love it.
And real life tools to educate misinformed people about what we do.
Yeah. I think that's helpful. I think we're getting all these folks in the same space that are in farmers markets and running farmers markets. It's like, let's get on the same page and let's get out there kind of in force to help really make a bigger shift in like how people perceive farmers markets, taking the businesses seriously, all those things. I think if it's going to help to get all of us there.
It's time.
It's time.
We're starting a movement.
That's right.
That's right. So
Yes.
hashtag speak up for farmers markets. That's where we're going.
I would say we're speeding up the movement because I think the
that's
movement's
true,
there,
of
but we're fueling it.
Yep. We're organizing.
Yes.
Get us all working together. We're going to have some sessions led by people who've made big changes in local laws and regulations and funding to make markets stronger. And they're going to tell us how you can do that in your town. We have a whole block of sessions on nutrition incentives and outreach to bring the people who really need healthy food to markets and help them get what they need. We have seen in comment cards the last couple of years. I thought we had talked about it a lot, but again, it's one of those things where when you're doing an ad or you're doing branding or whatever, you've seen that same thing over and over or heard that same thing over and over. So you start feeling like everybody already knows this, but they don't.
Yeah.
And people are doing amazing creative things in all corners of the country and beyond. And we all need to know this stuff. So there's a big demand when we look at our surveys for even more information on nutrition incentives, food access, food equity. And so we're going to have a whole block of sessions on that.
And those things change and people come up with new ideas. So it's good to just keep sharing and talking about that.
For sure. We're going to have a block on marketing as we usually do. So techniques to get the word out in many, many ways and get people to your markets. For new market managers and more experienced managers, we're again going to have some separate sessions. We did that for the first time earlier this year with nuts and bolts info to promote and strengthen your markets no matter what stage you're at, to train your team, make your operations easier, more profitable, less stressful, fundraising at every level. So we are going to separate the newer market managers and the more experienced ones at bigger or more mature markets into separate sessions. You'll be able to choose your own story. What's the name
Choose
of that
your own
book?
adventure.
Choose your own adventure. That's yeah. So you can decide if you feel like you're a new manager. Or we're not going to check your credentials or anything. You can decide which sessions you want to be in. But there are going to be those two options. We have a report from a big data collection project that you can actually put to good use. Data collection always sounds just so academic and kind of geeky, but these folks have really good ways that you can take that information and use it with grant applications and sponsorship packages and so much more. Got to watch for the preview of the schedule and speakers. That's going to be posted in the next few weeks. We're getting it out there early this year.
Yeah. No, I love that.
We're super happy that we have a special track just for farmers and vendors this year.
Yeah, like Kat and I used to teach our Vendor 101 course on the Sunday prior to the conference opening. And so we'd get all those farmers and vendors on site and teach our in-person course for getting a farmer vendor booth started at a farmer's market. And then those folks would hang out and take the conference with everyone else as well as the operators that came. So that was really nice to have them there. And it was nice to just fold everyone who's a part of making farmers markets happen together. So it'll be nice to kind of bring those folks back in to the fold and have information for them. Because what we found is that we couldn't quite figure out who are we talking to? Because some of the speakers, it was this is just market operator information. It's probably interesting to farmers and vendors, but it's not necessarily teaching them a lot. And so we had to kind of figure out the tracks and how we were going to do that. But I feel like we have a good plan this year. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hate going to conferences where there's 8 different tracks and I want to be in 5 of them. And then I'm missing a lot of content. It's frustrating to me. So we really started this conference with the idea that we would always keep everybody in one room. And over time, we've got a lot of repeat attendees. We have a lot of people that come back. We have people at different stages of market management. And so we did this year give in and accept the fact that we should have separate tracks sometimes. And one of those tracks this year is going to be a 1-day track that's just for farmers and vendors. They'll have their own room. They'll have their own speakers and topics.
Yeah, that's great. Because if we're putting all of this together, we might as well be hosting this. Because there's not a lot of conferences or things for them to go to about being in a market space. Because what we always get is, okay, are there going to be sessions on battling hornworms on your tomatoes and getting your sourdough to rise? So
those worms are ugly.
Oh.
I want no pictures of hornworms at our conference.
My poor COVID garden that was thriving. The hornworms came and then
overnight.
I've never planted anything else in that box. It's a sad, sad box and it's all the hornworms.
It's all the hornworms' fault.
It was so depressing. I could never be a farmer. I couldn't handle it emotionally. But just cry.
And you can find those kind of sessions at your local small farm conference. A lot of places have regional small farm conferences.
Yeah.
We've actually never seen a conference that has sessions for non-farm producers that are at farmers markets, like the bakers and the salsa makers and the granola blenders. I've just never seen any of those regional conferences offer anything for those folks, although I have very recently seen a couple, but real hyper local.
Yeah. And it's more like small business, or like it focuses on culinary. It focuses on getting into retail stores or things like that. All important and things that are a part of their businesses, but really focusing on what does it take to really run your farmers market business the most efficiently, to help support yourself, how to do it right, where you are not burning yourself out. I mean, all these tools that we can really help farmers and vendors learn, bringing them all together to kind of teach them about farmers markets is, I mean,
and about how to sell. We say we're not going
Yeah.
to teach you how to produce. We're going to teach you how to sell what you make
Mhm.
and not burn out in the process. So
well, our first theme was passion meet profits.
That's right.
That was always our farmers market kind of tagline, and we're still true to that.
Still
Take these
there.
folks that are passionate about their food and make a profit. Make a profit at the farmers market.
That's right. That's the goal. So we're
Yeah.
going to help you learn that. We're
Mhm.
going to hear about how you farmers can create value-added products. Those can triple or quadruple your margins while you're
Mhm.
cutting down on food waste. And then how to apply for the grants that are available to help you do just that. Christopher from super successful Benny Blanco Tortillas, he has been on our podcast. If you follow him on social media, you'll get a lot of laughs. He's going to explain how using local farmers' ingredients can make a food producer's bottom line better. So, I mean, I think that's interesting because we'll talk to makers and we try to encourage any maker that's at our market to use local ingredients, and they'll think that they can't afford to use local ingredients. It's a great marketing tool. People who shop at markets love to see the farms that's in your food on your chalkboard. But Chris is going to show us all how it makes good financial sense, too. He's absolutely convinced it's working for him. He's got a very successful business.
I love this.
And then we'll have some nuts and bolts stuff on making packaging and branding legal and also effective, and some ways to keep up on marketing, staffing, bookkeeping, production, and still have time for a little bit of self-care and avoid burnout.
We should all have that all the time.
That's right.
We have to remind everybody every year at these
That's right.
conferences, which is nice. I mean, we go to other conferences too, and it's nice to be told like, hey, these are some really great, exciting ideas. There's all this work to be done, but still, do that work within the boundaries that you
That's
set
right.
for yourself.
For sure.
Yep. So you said that special track for farmers and vendors, and that's all 3 days or not?
No, it's that special track is Monday only.
Okay.
And so there's a special ticket if folks just want to attend that session.
Mhm.
We find that, as you know, we found that farmers and vendors sometimes have a hard time being away from the farm or out of the kitchen for 3 whole days.
Yeah.
It's a packed agenda at that 3-day conference, but sometimes they can't make it. And I think that's why our content for a while drifted to just market operators. They seem to be more able to get there for the full session. So farmers and vendors are going to have the option this year. They can buy a ticket that's just for Monday. If they do have the time, if they've got help, if they've got a way to cover their business and come for all 3 days, I do think they'll find value in the overall sessions because we're doing some breakouts and things. They'll have the option to go to workshops on marketing and advocacy and staffing, and those all affect them as well as market managers and operators. And, of course, the other nice thing about staying for all 3 days is the networking and fun never stops all the way through Wednesday.
The fun? What is the fun that you speak of?
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
We'll have the Monday lunch market, which will be familiar to some folks that have been there before. We will have a Monday night reception. This time we will be looking at the beach as we do that because our new venue is right on the bay.
How
So
lovely.
you can get some sand on your feet, brush it off, and continue to party. Tuesday evening, we've got the meetup at the Pacific Beach Farmers Market.
Always a hit.
Always a hit. I think we're going to schedule a really long lunch on Wednesday in case anyone wants to engage in transportation and sneak over to the Wednesday morning market in Little Italy. It's off-site, so you need a little bit more time to do that. Pacific Beach is really right around the corner from where we're going to be. And then we're going to have a Wednesday closing celebration after the last session. So watch for some surprises there.
Oh, very excited for this.
That's right.
What are you going to plan? Who knows?
It's a surprise.
No, it's a surprise. Even I don't know, folks, so I take no responsibility for this, okay?
You'll know by the time it happens, but nobody else will.
Okay. I'll
Okay.
keep it a secret.
Maybe we'll surprise you.
Okay. I don't know about this. Getting nervous. And the Tuesday evening meetup at the Pacific Beach Farmers Market, the PB Market is like 2 blocks away from the Catamaran.
It's so easy.
So it was so hard to all right, everybody, share a ride or get an Uber from Marina Village. Even though we were close, we were not really walking distance to the market. And so now everyone can just stroll on over at their leisure.
Yeah.
Hang out at the market, have a good time. So hopefully that'll move some stress off folks' plates to get there. It's always a really fun evening, and we end up kind of hanging out elsewhere around PB. So I like all the kind of like hangout time that we get. It is a really packed schedule, and the material is always so wonderful. But just kind of being able to be with folks that are in the same industry and talk about pain points or just talk about life. I mean, it's the most fascinating people are market managers.
For sure.
And market people. So it's nice just to meet cool people and hang out with them.
Yeah. And we learned that from our surveys and from talking to people and just our own kind of level of, we need a little break.
Mm-hmm.
We really learned over the last few years to make our breaks longer and allow more time for just hanging out, because you learn from the people on stage, but you really learn from that person in the next chair.
Yep. That's how it works. All right. So the Wednesday closing party is new. What else is different this year?
Well, as we've touched on, we're at the Catamaran Resort this year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really new to us to have the meeting rooms and the resource lounge and where you're sleeping all in one building, all under one roof. And you used to have to trek a little bit between the resource lounge and the main stage and maybe where the breakout rooms are. At the Catamaran, we have the whole floor of meeting rooms and the foyer and an elevator, by the way, for folks that are tired of dealing with the cobblestones and crazy sidewalks at the Marina Village. We're all together. You just walk across the hall to your breakout room, or you walk across the other hall and get to the resource lounge to talk to our sponsors and resource partners and charge your phone and hang out. So it's all in one place, which is great. And most of the rooms there and the foyer, where we'll be hanging out and eating and drinking, all have a view of the beach. So hard to beat that. So we think that it'll make it easier to do that casual networking that happens when you kind of bump into a fellow attendee while you're getting coffee first thing in the morning, or while you're taking a walk on the beach after the session's wrapped up for the day. We'll have a lot of opportunities to run into each other.
Yeah, a little less time spent like taking the shuttle to the Dana and things like that. And just being able to be with each other and being able to kind of have access to your room that's closer in between for breaks. I know it's hard for farmers and vendors to get away from like the farm and the kitchen. Most market managers, they are working while they're attending the conference, like in those little in-between times. And most of our work is remote. So we can work on those breaks, and we can go sneak into our room or, have our stuff there right there with us.
Right. Without having to make that trip across the street and down the road.
And like a little Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's the big thing that's new. The Catamaran has effective Wi-Fi. This is not going to sound real exciting to anybody who hasn't attended the conference yet, but anybody who has knows that this is a big step, that the Marina Village internet access was rough for 2020, 2021, 2022, years in which internet access should be a given. It was quite a challenge.
Quite a challenge over there. I feel like everyone listening to this when it's airing, we're just getting so many ticket sales right now because everyone's like,
right.
That was the breaking point.
Thank goodness.
We need that Wi-Fi, but very important so we can do our work while we're there.
This new location is also more central to PB, so it'll make it really easy to like grab a group of new friends or old friends and pick up burrito seat at the beach, or go to dinner or lunch and sit down by just walking, across the street or down the block instead
We'll be trapped at Marina Village.
That's right. It's a little bit remote.
I like the room. I mean,
it was nice. It was on the water. We shouldn't say bad things.
Yeah, we're kind of ragging on Marina Village, but I really liked it. We brought our vendors in there and all that stuff, and it was wonderful, and it was a beautiful view and the sailboats, but a little isolated for bringing hundreds of people together.
That's true. Yeah,
So.
It was tough.
Yeah.
With more space at the Catamaran, we've been able to separate folks a bit more so we can schedule. We've got one block that's hands-on workshops. So you'll be able to sit down with a facilitator and really dig into a specific topic. Ticket holders will be able to choose which workshop they want to attend starting in December. So you'll have the best chance of reserving your seat at your first choice workshop. If you register in advance, keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. And then our wonderful, wonderful online attendees, what's new for them?
Again, we're responding to some survey responses and things. We'll have some breakout rooms for online attendees during the workshop session.
Great.
So they don't have to take a long break. They can brainstorm with each other, and they'll have a few topics that they can sign up for. And this one's cool. If a market or a state market association, some kind of organization signs up for the big tent ticket, that gives 10 people access to the virtual conference online. And this year, we're going to send out some facilitation materials that they can use so that if they want to gather those 10 people wherever they may be. They can't make a trip to San Diego, but they've got a group that wants to follow along together. They can get together in one room, put yourself a large TV or monitor on, and we'll supply you with some materials so that you can do a blend of absorbing the online instruction and still doing some real-life networking where you are.
I love that. That's such a great solution to not being able to bring your whole team, or if you have a bunch of individual folks that can't get away, they can all come together and network with each other.
Yeah.
And still get the material and learn everything.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We've talked to people that have had the big tent ticket and they love that. And some of them have done this kind of thing themselves. They've just kind of figured it out and brought people together. But we're going to try and make that a little bit easier for them.
I love that. Okay, so for returning attendees who are familiar with our format and our schedule, what is not new for them?
Oh, yeah, the familiar. We all like a little bit of the familiar, right?
I don't like change, so what is going to be the same? Please tell me.
Yeah, there's got to be some things that are the same, right? We will still be in Pacific Beach, which is essentially where we've been at Marina Village. Some of your favorite restaurants and things, you'll still be able to do that. You'll still be able to see that same sunset on the beach that we've watched every year.
Amazing.
In terms of the schedule, our new old favorite session, it's just debuted this year, but it's already a favorite, is speed dating will be back.
Yeah.
And Cara Mae Wooledge will be back to facilitate that. So that's kind of a fun thing where you get in a circle or a line. I won't give out too many details, but you're getting the chance kind of in the speed dating concept to interview your new market bestie in just a few minutes and then move on to the next one and accumulate a whole new group of friends and camp buddies that you can keep in touch with through the year.
Yes. Not dating in a romantic way.
Not
dating it's just a phrase we use to meet friends.
That's right. Camp buddies.
Camp buddies.
Yep. The lunch market with local vendors is back just on the Monday. It's actually kind of hard to negotiate at a hotel that you bring food in. That's been one of the reasons we've avoided hotels for so long. But the Catamaran really is aware about local farmers and food sourcing. They have a chef that's worked with an old friend chef of ours at a different hotel that's very tuned into using local farmers. And they did agree to let us put our lunch market using local farmers market vendors onto their parking lot for one day on Monday. And we're not sure yet, but I think we'll see 7 Seas Coffee's fancy truck on site. He's always loved doing the conference. He's always hated doing it inside the conference building. He will be very happy to bring his truck.
Yeah, he does not want to haul his espresso machine inside ever again.
Yeah, the truck works so well. So I think we'll see that. We wanted to mix up the speakers this year, but you'll still see some of your old favorites that have been back, multiple years. Some of them will be on stage. Some of them will be leading those workshops where you get to sit down and have a one-on-one with them. So I think people are going to really appreciate that, especially from some of their familiar favorite speakers. Of course, our resource partners, many of them are returning. They tend to stay with us for years and years, even as we add some new ones. I think we can count on Chris Quinlan's Hawaiian shirts being back. And a little birdie told me he has the perfect swag for this location coming this year. I can't tell you what it is. That really is a surprise. I think I'm not even going to tell you. But it's going to be fun. American Farmland Trust is back. Farmers Market Coalition, Manage My Market, Square. They'll all be there along with some really cool new resources.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that our resource partners come back.
Yeah.
It shows me that they're really finding a benefit to the attendees that we have there, and the attendees are also finding a benefit to having them there because they sign up and use their services and they get to spend the time to kind of speak one-on-one with these folks, ask a lot of questions in an environment where we are all talking about our job and what we need to help us with our job.
Yeah.
And so it's so nice to have them there.
Yeah, I think it's a really good combo.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is all really exciting.
I think so. I think we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have fun running it. We actually have some folks that have attended multiple times that have joined our team that are doing some kind of behind the scenes work and will be hands-on on site. So Bridget and I will not be running ragged and getting snippy.
I'm not getting
tired.
snipping at all. I might be tired. I can't guarantee that.
Can't guarantee the lack of tiredness, but I think with having a team that's going to go very smoothly, yeah, I think it's going to be a good one.
Yep. All I can say is avoid the FOMO. Don't miss this chance to make new market besties and learn all the things. Just do it.
Just do it. So how do people avoid missing out? You go to farmersmarketpros.com, click the button on the homepage that says Save on Early Registration, and that goes to the end of this month. So jump on it. Or click the Intense Conference info button up top. Get more information. We can't wait to see you in San Diego or live online.
Or live online. You can also experience it there, and we're just going to have a great time with everybody who participates. It's just something I look forward to every year, and I can't wait for the conference in 2025.
Can't be a better group of people to gather with. Thank you for listening today. And thanks to Yifty for creating simple-to-manage gift card programs for farmers markets and communities, and for supporting Tent Talk, the Farmers Market podcast. To get your loyalty program underway, click the Yifty logo on the resource page at farmersmarketpros.com.
Thanks for listening to Tent Talk today. Please leave us a review on your podcast app or wherever you listen to Tent Talk. Let us and others know how you're enjoying the podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of Tent Talk. Connect with fellow farmers market folks in our private Facebook group, the Farmers Market Pros Community, and follow us on Instagram at Farmers Market Pros. Find online education and other resources at farmersmarketpros.com. Tent Talk is brought to you by Farmers Market Pros, where passion meets profit. Tent Talk is hosted by Kat Fields-White and Bridget Myers and produced by Leandra Hayes, with original music by David Mead. Tune in next week for another great episode.